All right, let's get right into it. A lot of people thought I was crazy. A lot of people think I'm still crazy for rolling my independent brokerage of 75 agents into Real Broker LLC in June of 2022. After all, we were doing well. We were growing. We were a thriving independent office. Our numbers had been growing by 30 to 40%, both in growth and sales volume and income for the last 5 years since we went independent. When I left the franchise world, I vowed to never go back to a corporate company. I was going to be independent. That was going to be my thing. But in life, sometimes the best opportunities come when you least expect them. And I've always been open-minded about my career, and I hope you are too. Every single agent should be open-minded about their career. I was open-minded, and I asked one of my dear friends, Amy Youngren up in Toronto, why she left a major corporation and went to Real Broker LLC. I kept an open mind and I kept asking questions, and everything pointed me in the same direction. The direction that this is the future of real estate. That Real Broker is the future of real estate, and either I was going to get on board now or potentially miss the boat. A lot of people think I was insane. A lot of my agents thought I was sane. Some people followed us, many people followed us, a few people didn't. But in the interim, since then, many people have joined us that also see my vision and see the real vision for what can be a different kind of future for all real estate agents. Throughout my years as an independent broker and a broker of 4 franchise offices for a major franchise brand, I always made decisions for my real estate team and my agents that worked for me first before myself. Because I always looked at it like if it's good for the agents, you can find a way to make it good for the broker. But here's the ugly truth. Over the last 15 years I've been in the brokerage business, I've seen things change drastically. Brokerage profit has been squeezed more and more and more and more every single year. Costs have gone up, profitability has gone down. It's because the business is changing. Agents are independent business owners within a brokerage. It's just the flat, hard truth. And they want more and more. They want better splits and lower caps and more technology and more support for less cost on a consistent basis, year after year after year. Why wouldn't they? It's not easy in this business for a broker. It's not easy for an agent. So why wouldn't they want the industry to change to meet their needs and their demands? And that is exactly what's happening with the new age brokerage model, which begins at from a cloud-based perspective, but it allows you for having those brick and mortar offices like I do. This is what happened when I decided to roll into Real Broker LLC and start transitioning my brokerage into Real Broker LLC. What I end up doing is taking a lot of liabilities and the sole liability headaches off my shoulders. I would wake up every day as an independent broker and wonder, when am I going to get sued? And for how much? And is it going to be big enough that it puts me under? That was one major fear I had, not having the backing of a company like Real Broker LLC. I said I'd never go back to a corporate company, but what I meant by that is I'd never go back to a traditional brokerage model, a traditional corporate model. Real Broker LLC is a completely different model from that. This is an opportunity for agents to own their own business instead of renting their business. When they don't get ownership opportunities and revenue share opportunities and ability to own stock in the company and ability to be free to grow anywhere, then they're just renting their business. They're leasing their business from another brokerage. When you can have 100% ownership, it's a completely different perspective. So liability was one of the reasons I did it. I also was looking at a lot of the activities I was involved in as a broker on a day-to-day basis were high risk, low return. They were just not the best uses of my time. So I look at it like I outsourced all my brokerage management activities to Real Broker LLC. It also allowed me to have the ability to grow wherever I want to grow without me necessarily having all the licenses. I was managing 5 licenses, and that was a lot. With Real Broker LLC, if I don't want to personally be in New Hampshire doing business, I don't have to be. It doesn't mean I can't have a team up there. I actually have a team in Oklahoma and a team in Texas because I have agents working for me that I'm helping with lead generation, but I'm not managing their transactions. Real Broker is, because Real Broker has a broker in every single state. They manage the transactions, they manage the risk, but Real Broker gives you the unlimited access to grow wherever you want to. So whether you're an independent broker that's listening to this video, you're a top agent or a growing agent, or you're a team, Real Broker gives you the opportunity to grow wherever you want to grow without the restraints of a typical brokerage. It also allows you to do business in all 50, soon to be all 50 states. I think we're in 44 now. You can do business in all states across the country without having licenses in every state, and under one split and one cap. So if you do half your business in Florida and half your business in Massachusetts, then you're still under the same split in the same single cap because you're getting paid by corporate. Real is also a publicly traded company, REAX. This gives you opportunity, which I'll explain a little bit, to earn stock opportunities. I'm going to explain a lot in this video, but I want you to go to getrealwithme.com. That's getrealwithme.com. You'll see links below here, and you'll see links on the page where you're viewing this video. Go there, it'll explain a lot more than I can in the next 5 to 10 minutes, but I wanted to give you some of the key reasons why I did this. I see the industry changing. I see with the market shift, agents wanting more and better splits in commission and better caps. I see them wanting flexibility to move and relocate and do business in different states and expand into different states without all the headaches of a franchise model. There's a lot of franchise models. You're still having to pay 2 different companies and 2 different states because they're different franchises in each state, different owners. It's a headache. This eliminates all the headaches of growth and allows me to grow as big as I want to. So when I was looking at my independent office, I was like, at 75 agents, I was thinking, where do I really need to grow to get to where I want to be profitable wise? And all I saw ahead was headaches, hassles, overheads, licenses, things that I had to manage and a lot of risk I had to manage. And then the Real model was just clear and simple and an opportunity for me to grow as big as I want to. We have teams like Joe Herrera in Vegas who has teams in 5 different states. That's a credible opportunity without having the headaches of owning franchise and buying franchise and setting up hard offices right away before you can even put someone out there. The walls and the hurdles have come down with Real Broker LLC, and it's a real opportunity. These are just a couple of the reasons I decided to roll my independent office into Real Broker LLC, but let's jump into some of the others. I want you to have a clear understanding why this benefits all. And I didn't take a big paycheck. A lot of people think that I took a big check to join Real. I did not. Many would think I made financial suicide by doing this, but trust me, I'm smarter than most people think. I've got a plan and it's already working. And I know that Real Broker LLC is offering me an opportunity to grow like I never would have as an independent. So mark my words, watch me a couple years from now, some of you will be surprised, some of you won't. But let's jump into some more information. Collaboration. This is probably the biggest benefit I see in Real Broker LLC. I felt like a lone wolf. I felt like the lone lion in the room, just sitting there figuring out who can I connect with and who can I grow with? Who can I really feel like we're growing together as opposed to growing separately on our own missions? This is one mission to grow a company that's growing by over 1,000 agents a month. This is one mission to grow a company that the stock is at $1.50 now to who knows, $20, $30, $40 per share. It's an opportunity to grow together. It's an opportunity to collaborate together and to feed off people that might be doing things that I know are doing things at a lot higher level than me. I feel like I now have the opportunity to get basically coaching and masterminding from some of the best in the business, some of the very best in the business as part of the network that I'm involved with. I'm part of Real Collective Network, which is Amy Youngren up in Toronto. I'm part of One Network Leaders with Joe Herrera out in Vegas and Spring Benson. They're all part of our network. I get to collaborate with them on a weekly basis for free as all part of the mission that we're on together. I would have to pay $5,000 to $10,000 a month to get that value. Every one of our agents would have to pay at least $2,000 to $3,000 a month for that kind of coaching that they get us all part of the network. It's a collaboration. It's a want and a desire to help other people. And that's the core value of this company. That's different than any other company. And even the similar companies compensation model wise, I don't think compare as far as collaboration and natural culture goes. So that's a big one. The agent model, as I said earlier, if your agent model works for the agents and is very competitive for the agent, and it's a good decision for most agents coming from other companies that are looking at our opportunity, then you can't go wrong. Well, you can go wrong, but that's a foundation. At the end of the day, we all love collaboration. We all love tools. We all love everything. But if you can't survive and you can't support your family, then what does all that matter? So you may absolutely love the current brokerage you're with, but if in this market shift, you're not going to be able to support your family, you're going to have to look at models maybe that have a better opportunity for you to make more per transaction. So at the foundation of everything, someone's got to sell real estate. Agents have to sell real estate to make a living. So what does that compensation model look like? And how does it compare? And I can tell you the real compensation model is top notch. I think it's the absolute best in the industry overall. And this is how it works. Every agent, whether you're a team member or a team leader or a top producer, you're on an 85% split until you hit a $12,000 cap each year. That means when you hit 80,000 in gross production, at 15%, you paid in $12,000. That's your cap. From there, you move to a 100% split and you pay a $225 transaction fee only at that point until you hit another 6,000 in paid in transaction fees. In a little minute, I'm going to talk to you about an elite award, which is a stock award for hitting that 18,000 total that you're going to be shocked at what they give you. So stay tuned. Do not leave this webinar. I'm going to show you how you get a ton of stock awards just for hitting that $12,000 cap and an additional $6,000 in post-cap transaction fees. So there are no other monthly fees. The only other fee that Real has is a $250 transaction fee on your first two deals. That's $500 total. That's $250 for your first two deals each year. Other than that, it's an 85% split, no monthly fees, no other tech fees, nothing else. That's it. Straight up, straightforward, 85% split. For an agent that's making, let's say, $100,000 or $80,000, the numbers are crystal clear. For most agents, for most comparison companies, that's a $10,000 difference just in the split alone. What could you do with $10,000? Put it back into your business. You might need it to cover your mortgage payments if the market gets really tough here. We don't know what's going to happen, but agents are going to have to start looking at their bottom line. It's just the cold, hard truth. You can love your company all you want, but if you can't survive, then what does it matter? So compensation model is important. And this was an important comparison to my independent office. Most of my agents made more money making the move. In fact, all of them actually would if they actually broke down the numbers. So for agent to agent, for every 75 plus agents I had, the compensation model worked for them. And I always said, if it works for them, I can find a way to make it work for me. And I have. And I can explain that if you're an independent office that's thinking about Real and wants to hear kind of some of the inside scoop on how you go about rebuilding an independent office into Real Broker LLC with having agents work for Real Direct and some working for your team. Like I still manage the Lux Group brokered by Real Broker LLC. I have 12 agents under that team right now, a couple more joining this week. So we have a team and we have team splits and then agent splits. So as far as teams go, we can talk about that more on an individual video, but I wanted to go over the compensation model at a high level. You can read the information below and see that if, for instance, you compare it to a 70% company with a 6% transaction fee, the difference is huge for the team member. And again, if you run a team and you look at it from a team member's perspective first, and then backtrack into how it works for you, you will run a successful team. I guarantee it. The Real model, paying that team member 85% split and giving them actually a $6,000 reduced cap for being on your team is a winning formula that you can grow a highly successful team with Real Broker LLC that I don't think works at any other brokerage really, to keep consistent team members coming to your team and staying long-term. We'll talk about that later. Book a call with me anytime. Love to chat with you individually about your goals, how this looks for you, and helping you run the numbers for your own particular situation. All right, let's keep going. Timing. Timing for me is everything with Real Brokerage LLC. I wish, between you and I, honestly, that I got into EXP 8 years ago when I first saw the opportunity. I didn't think the industry was going to change that much so quickly. And then they took off. I wish I was part of that. They did extremely well. Their stock went from probably $10, $12 when I started first looking at it to $160, over $160, and then it split. You got two stocks, two shares for the price of whatever share you had. Since then, the market has shifted, the stock market's shifted. Their stock is back down to under $12 a stock share right now. They're also at like 80,000, 90,000 agents, somewhere thereabouts. To me, that rocket ship took off in a hurry in the last 5 to 6 years, but in the last 1 to 2 years, it's starting to just orbit. Still growing, but not at the pace they did from 2 years ago to 8 years ago. Really, probably the last 5 years minus last year. That's when they really hit their biggest growth. And the stock price skyrocketed. Timing was everything, in my opinion, with EXP. And timing for me, in my opinion, is also highly important with Real Broker LLC also. I think right now is the time to join. When I first started looking at it, Real was at just over 4,500 agents. Quickly, while I was examining it, it went to 5,000. I joined right after they announced 5,000 agents. Then they've been to 6,000 agents and 7,000 agents just in the last 2 months. They are growing by almost 1,000 agents a month across the country. And if you start to really watch some of the people that are joining Real, they are top-notch teams, brokerages, independent producing agents that are joining like crazy because they see the opportunity and they know where the industry is heading. The industry is heading towards this kind of model, the EXP and the Real type of model. It's just fact. No longer do you need all this hierarchy of overheads and nonsense to do real estate business and to offer agents an opportunity to be free to do business anywhere in the country. This is where the industry is heading. Right now, EXP is the largest. Real's in a strong second place, in my opinion. I don't see a third that's going to catch Real. So what that tells me is the timing is perfect for Real. The timing is perfect to get in while the stock is at under $1.50 a share, to earn opportunities and buy stock and get awarded stock, which we'll talk about in a second, to help you be there when the timing is right to gain some stock, build some revenue share, and like literally be that person that people look at and say, God, I wish I did that. I know people are going to look at me in 5 years and say, God, I wish I had the guts that he had to do what he did. I just know it. I said almost. I guarantee it. I guarantee in 5 to 10 years, people are going to look back and say, damn, he made the best move of his career. Going to Real Broker LLC. I know it's the right timing for Real. If you have any questions on that, I'd love to chat with you about that more. All right, let's move on. Revenue share. Here's the big advantage I see with Real's revenue share over other companies' revenue share. Real pays, and there's no hiding it. EXP has a revenue share model. So does Real Brokerage LLC. Some others have some too, but they're the most similar two companies. To me, the advantage at Real is 5% on the first line versus 3.5% at EXP. There's a few people that are going to build a 7-level deep downline at EXP, or are looking at that opportunity saying, well, that's 7 levels and Real is only 5. To me, that doesn't matter unless the company is going to grow to 160,000 agents, which I don't know if I see. And even if you had that opportunity moving to EXP versus Real right now, I think the benefit is going to be there for the people that have already been there a couple of years and started already building their 7 levels. To start fresh right now, I think you're better off being in a 5-level revenue share line than a 7-level. And here's what most agents need to think about. Most agents are going to look at and listen to this and say, it's not for me. I really don't care about recruiting. I don't even care about this. First of all, you should care about it. And second of all, don't think of 5 levels. Think of 1 level. You are going to do business, and if you're doing it well, you're going to be the type of agent Real wants to work with, and you're going to be attracted to Real. The type of agents that work at Real are the type that you're going to be attracted to and want to be around. So when you come to Real and you're doing business the way you should be, people are going to ask questions. Agents that you're doing showings with, agents you're doing deals with will ask you questions. All you have to do is connect them and say, hey, you should check it out. You should keep an open mind and just check it out. If they join, you get paid 5% revenue share on everything they do until they cap each year. So that's a maximum of $4,000 per person that you introduce. And that's on each person that you introduce. You also right now get 250 shares for introducing that person to the company, which I'll talk about in a second as well. But I don't want most individual agents to think any beyond the first level. You get 5% on everybody you introduce to Real versus 3.5% at EXP. So for the people building downlines, I think this is important too, because you can focus on your 5 levels as a team builder, a growth leader, an independent broker like me that's rolling into your Real broker. And you can focus on creating retention using the revenue share model. The first and second line are only separated by 1%. So on your second line, you get 4%. On your first line, you get 5%. For me, I want people underneath my good agents. I'll say, hey, you just did a deal with this person. Let's connect with them and get them to see if let's have a conversation with them to see if they're open to talking to us about Real Broker LLC. Because I want them to be under that person. I get 4, they get 5. It just makes sense. So for me, the growth model and the opportunity with Real right now to go from, you know, a distant second to EXP right now and closing that gap in the next few years, I know 100% I will make more in revenue share as a growth leader myself with Real than I ever would at EXP. EXP has way too many agents in our state already that the opportunity was missed, in my opinion. And the 5 levels, in my opinion, are just a little bit more conducive to every single agent versus very few growth leaders. So overall, I think this benefits everyone more than a model like EXP. We can talk about this further and how you can strategically build your downline and build it 5 level deep and build it strong on a call we get on soon. So if this intrigues you at all, I want to talk to you about it more. And I want to show you, even if you're an individual agent, you're just like, okay, let's move on. How you can easily take advantage of this and attract people instead of having to think about this as a recruiting bonus. It shouldn't be a recruiting bonus. It's an attraction-based model. It's an attraction-based revenue share model. All right, let's move on. Ownership. This is the most important piece. If you don't have opportunities to own a piece of the company you're working for, then you're just renting your business. I know that sounds harsh, but to me, that's a cold, hard truth. You're just renting your business. You're giving your money to your broker, whatever that split and cap is each year. And what do you really get for it? At the end of the year, you've got the ability to lease some technology, to ask questions. You're leasing your broker, and you're just leasing the opportunity. You don't end up with anything at the end of the year. I said to agents, hey, even if it was an even Steven, which I know it's not, because Real has a great cap at $12,000, even if it was even Steven or only a couple $1,000 difference, why not be with a company that you get some ownership at the end of that versus nothing? Get some ownership. So when you cap at $12,000 with Real, you get 750 shares in the company. Those have a vesting period of 3 years, but after that 3 years, you can do whatever you want with it. So let's imagine, people think like, oh, well, that's may not happen. Let's imagine if the stock 10x'd. It's very possible, in my opinion. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only does a 5x. But those 750 shares today are worth about $1,200. Let's say it does a 10x in the next 10 years. It goes to $15 in the next 10 years. You get ready to retire. That 1 year, that stock bonus is now worth $12,000. If you did that for 10 years, that's $120,000. Would you have that with your current brokerage? If you say no, then you need to think about being in a company where you own your business and not just rent it. There's other opportunities to earn stock with Real Broker LLC as well. One is for introducing agents, 250 shares right now. The other opportunity is to get stock through purchase program that they give you a bonus on. You can learn more about this at getrealwithme.com, the website I talked about earlier, and on the link below. But there's quite a few opportunities for you to own stock in the company and earn stock in the company while you're working with the company. Elite Stock Award. This one's big. If you're a top producer, team leader, or an independent broker like I was that came over to Real Broker LLC, and you're a producer, or you run a team that does a lot of transactions, when you pay in your $12,000 cap and you pay the equivalent of $6,000 in post-cap transaction fees at $225 per deal, that's what we talked about earlier, So in our area, that works out to be about 32, 33 deals in my area. Could be about 27, 28 if you're in a high priced area. Once you paid in that $18,000, Real is going to gift you $16,000 in stock awards. Those have a vesting period of 3 years also, but that's $16,000 that you basically are being paid to be a promoter of Real, someone that's producing at a high level and creating attraction opportunities, because that's what happens. People want to be around top producers. If you're that person and you're an attractor and you're a builder and you're an influencer that's doing this level of business, you're going to get awarded $16,000. I can promise you one thing. Our comparison company, I could never get a guarantee of what that was going to be. This is a guaranteed stock option. You're going to get those stocks awarded to you with a 3-year vesting period. It's huge. It's huge. Imagine if you did that for the next 5 years. Imagine if you're a 35 to 40 deal a year, top producer, team leader, independent broker. Imagine if you every year for the next 5 years got $16,000 in stock awards, times that by 5, what's that, about $80,000? $80,000 in stock. What if that 10x's? What if it 5x's? It's crazy. This could be life-changing. This is an exit strategy. I always looked for, how am I going to ever exit the brokerage world? What am I going to sell my brokerage to somebody else for, I don't know, $500,000, but then they're going to make me stay on for 3 years as a salaried employee? No, thanks. I want to choose my exit. I want to know how I can exit. This is an opportunity to exit. It's a huge opportunity. And guess what? I didn't mention it earlier in the revenue share model slide, but even the revenue share is willable now. You work at introducing people for the next 5 years, and God forbid something happens, and Real will pay your heirs the revenue share benefit. It's willable now. Here's what I also tell agents. Take your revenue share, dump it into more stock, get more stock in the company, become a real owner, have significant shares in the company that then in 5 to 10 years, when you want to start to slow down, you can choose your exit strategy. Do you want to sell it all at once because you think it's at a great price? Or do you want to slowly divest your interest in the company? Maybe your revenue share model is enough to support you in retirement. It's all opportunity after opportunity to define your future with Real Broker LLC. Real Tech. I can't tell you how many agents have told me the tech is awesome. The Real app, everybody controls every part of their transaction through the app. Your checklist of documents, your transaction details, everything is right in the app, in the transaction. You want to ask questions about it? Where's the commission check? When am I getting paid? When, what do you want for this checklist item? It all lives within the transaction. There's no separate emails. There's no separate calls. Everything lives right in the transaction. Access to your revenue share. What are you making in revenue share? And if you follow my series, I'm going to do another video on app just to show you what the app looks like. The app is incredible. I can see my entire business, what I've done for business, how close to my cap I am, how much equity I have in the company, what I'm making for revenue share, who's in my downline, see all my transactions, contact support, see upcoming events. Everything is right through the app. It's amazing. I also have a product called Powered by Agents where I can help you and your team or your independent brokerage or whatever you're rolling into Real, even if you're an independent agent and you want to kill it in lead generation. I spent the last 1.5 years building out poweredbyagents.com, and you'll see a link below as well to Powered by Agents webinar and where you can preview that. But I'm completely changing lead generation for agents and getting leads coming to them at a low cost that are high quality, that actually want to have conversations with you. They actually are texting you and asking you, hey, I want to get on the phone with you. I've got some questions, or hey, I need your help. It's a totally different lead generation platform than you've ever seen. And I spent 1.5 years building that system because I was tired of lead generation. I hated making cold calls because half those people didn't want to hear from me. This has completely changed the game for lead generation, and I want to show you that. I have some really special discounts for Real Brokerage team members as well, just because I believe that I can help Real agents and Real teams and Real brokers that have come over to Real build something better and more profitable and give you more freedom in your business. So we'll talk about that at a different time as well. That's it. That is all I have for today. I hope you found this webinar extremely valuable, and it's been my pleasure. And really, all I ask you at this point is to have an open mind. Have an open mind about your business and just have a conversation with me. Book a call at the link below right now. It can't hurt. I am a no pressure person. Any conversation I have with anybody that has ever explored any company with me, I've never put the pressure on them. I don't put contracts in front of people. I don't ask for commitments on any day that we have a conversation. When it's right for you, it's right for you. This is about long-term alignment of businesses. This is about attracting the right kind of people to my network and to the real network and to Real Collective, who I'm partners with. Joe Herrera in Vegas brings huge value to me and my team and my network. So does Amy Younger, so does Spring Benson, so does 100 other people that are part of our network. But I want you to come in and see the value in that and engage in that. If you don't see the value in it, then we're not a good fit. But I want you to explore it at least. If anything in this video has intrigued your interest, stop hesitating. Book a call below. Let's just have a one-on-one private conversation. I'll never mention it to anybody else. It'll be 100% private. I'll get to know your goals a little bit more. I want to share with you our goals for our network and what we're looking to build. And we can see if it's a good fit from there. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll spend as much time as necessary helping you get comfortable with a decision if you ever did decide to join Real Broker LLC. And if you've got a complicated situation like an independent brokerage that you're thinking of, like, I need something different for the future, I'm just getting tired of this, then we'll bring in some of the other people that have done this as well. Joe or Amy would be happy to get on the call with us as well. Because at the end of the day, it's about finding ways to be happy in this business again. I was starting to hate brokerage before I joined Real Broker LLC. I'll be honest with you, I was starting to hate it. I hated being independent. I loved what I was building for a while, but then I just saw no end in sight, no real exit strategy, no ability to collaborate at a higher level. I just saw roadblocks and a lot of money and a lot of grief and a lot of time maybe getting to where I want to go. With Real Broker, I have a clear path to my exit strategy, a clear path to my growth, a clear path to a brighter future. And I found the happiness for the business again. I found my happiness for real estate again. And I found it through Real Broker LLC. And I believe you might as well. So book a call with me right now. I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care.